All right, guys, this will be episode number 4. So we're actually going to be talking about cutting off the ring. Of course, cutting off the ring is a little bit more easier when your opponent is basically getting bombarded to the body and your opponent starts slowing down. But I believe that, also sometimes to land those strikes, you actually have to cut off the ring first, right? So you are actually at the same time have to stop your opponent from moving so much to be able to land those strikes. So it could work either way. And it was just kind of like the way in which Canelo blocked Charles's exits and was overall able to make the ring half his size basically. So one of the things that in this case you'll be Jermell, right? One of the things that Canelo did, I'll be playing Canelo in this scenario. One thing that Canelo did is that he didn't really chase Charlo too much, right? So there's a lot of people that will actually chase you, right? So I'm chasing you directly in front of you, and anytime you want to turn, bro, right? You're basically losing time. And as you guys kind of saw there, if I'm chasing him, right? If I'm chasing him, the moment that he cuts, he has an opportunity, or he has pretty much all the freedom in the world to land any strike that he wanted to. So one thing that Canelo did, which I felt was very, very useful, is the fact that he would move diagonally, right? So diagonally. So in this case, let's just say that Jermell is moving towards his right. So one thing that Canelo did was move this way, but diagonally, kind of squared, right? Not too squared, right? Because at this point, you don't really want to be too squared, just because you give him more area, or I guess more of a parameter, right, to strike. So what Canelo would do is he would be square enough, so he kind of looks big, right? He's still in a stance, but I'm more squared, right? So this is kind of dangerous if I'm too close, as I mentioned, just because I'm giving him more area for him to actually strike. So as soon as Canelo was really about to meet Jermell, he would just slightly step off this way, so that way he has the opportunity to get once again in his stance, be a little bit more bladed, right? And then ultimately from this position, come up down here, or a right hand, right? Because he kind of lined them up. And let's just say, and this is one of those things that I believe a lot of people didn't really see, but I just kind of had to watch it in slow motion to kind of figure it out myself. Is that okay? So sometimes again, Jermell would move this way, right? Canelo diagonal, he steps here. So let's just say Jermell read this movement. Now he starts moving the opposite way, right? No, just move laterally. If you're moving around, circling. There you go. Right, right there you saw how he moved towards Canelo's right, or he started moving towards his left side. So come back to this area. So this is what was very impressive about Canelo, is the fact that he kind of went against conventional wisdom, right? So now, as you're moving left, actually what Canelo did, and it's something that you don't really expect, because he's moving to my right. What foot do you guys think should move to my right? My right foot, right? Because I'm moving right. Because that's basically conventional wisdom. But this is the cool part that Canelo did right here. Look, get back over here. So this is what Canelo actually did. Look, so instead of moving with his right and moving with Charlo, he would actually do this. He would just move his left foot around towards his right side. Look, move, right? So ultimately, what he would do here is just kind of cut off that angle before Charlo reaches all the way towards his left. So again, right? And this one is really, really good, just because of the fact that since I'm almost in a borderline orthodox stance, I don't really have to move laterally. All I got to do is just step forward, and I basically cut off the ring, right? So I'm here, so move, boom, right? And I'm moving left, all right? So I'm basically beating him towards the exit on that side. And not only that, look, as you're doing that, right? Doing that, he would move this way by moving his left foot over here. But sometimes if Jermell moved the opposite way, right, all he would do is just bring his left foot back to its original space, or where it came from, and then once again just move forward and close the range again, ultimately making the ring basically half its size. And I know that a lot of people think that oh yeah, never cross your feet, don't do this, don't do that, right? Stay to conventional wisdom. But you saw Canelo do that. Honestly, I'm gonna try to actually play the clip on here so that way you guys could actually see it clearly. But ultimately, we're going to start from right here. So move. So he's moving diagonally. Move that way. Right? Boom. I'm over here. I'm cutting you. And I'm cutting over here. So it makes it that much different. It makes it that much easier to move, kind of block left, block right, and ultimately make the ring half its size. And another thing is, Canelo didn't really, go for feints. So sometimes there was instances where, Charlo would, move left and right. Just move left and right. and he would just take little small subtle steps, right? Like never really chasing him, never kind of using up his energy to like fully commit to like the chase, which ultimately at the same time saved his gas tank, right? Because I mean, we saw or we hear time and time again from the experts, oh, Canelo doesn't have the gas tank, or Canelo by round 6 is already tired, but none of that here, man. Very conservative with his energy, conserve his energy well, and then the moment where he's able to be close enough, he actually like strikes, which of course goes back to the body shots and to the next video that we're actually going to be talking about. All right, so we're just going to kind of like leave it at that, and you guys will actually have to wait for episode number 5 to see what it is that we're talking about. So thank you guys.